Hi. So today we're going to be dividing fractions. So dividing, remember, is just the inverse operation of multiplication. And as stated in the multiplying fractions in the integer addition and subtraction video, we will be looking at dividing fractions, and division of fractions also entails multiplication. So let's get right to it and look at an example. So if I have 7 halves divided by 3/4, how would I do that? Well, in order to divide with fractions, first what we do is change it to what we're really doing. Remember, division is really just multiplication. So in this instance, we're going to change the division to multiplication. But in order to do that, we must do something with the second fraction, with the 3/4 in this case. And what we'll do is we will multiply, instead of 3/4, by its reciprocal. In other words, flip the fraction. So 3/4 will become 4/3. All right, so in order to do 7 halves divided by 3/4, we must actually find what is 7 halves times 4/3. And we know how to multiply fractions. We've seen that done. So when we multiply here, we end up with 7 times 4 is 28. And 2 times 3 is 6. And we are done with the operation. The only other thing that we may need to do is simplify the fraction that we have as our answer. In this case, we should actually simplify this because both numbers can be divided by 2. So if we divide both of these by 2, we get 28 divided by 2 is 14, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So there we go. That is how you would divide with fractions. So to divide with a fraction, you first change it to multiplication of the reciprocal of the second fraction. In other words, keep the first one the same, multiply by flipping the second one. Multiply across, numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator, as you have done already. And then make sure you simplify your answer if needed. Now, sometimes people simplify this method of doing division of fractions into a very, very clear process where they usually do something like this, where they say we're doing 7 times the denominator and 2 times the numerator of the second one. So this would be 7 times 4 will give us 28. 2 times 3 will give us 6. As you see, we get the same result, but this is just another way that people think of it in order to make it a simpler process and quicker for them. Sometimes they call it cross multiplication, but people throw around cross multiplication in all kinds of different ways. So that is why I wanted to clarify that, just in case you see another video that talks about that and calls it, oh, you cross multiply, or someone else taught you that. What you're actually doing is keeping the first one the same. You're changing from division to multiplication of the second fraction's reciprocal. In other words, you're flipping the second fraction. So sometimes people say, keep the first one, change the sign to multiplication, and flip the second one. Or keep, change, flip. That's been used a lot. But the only time I like to have K, F, and C together are as fried chicken. So that is going to be dividing fractions. I'll see you soon.